I invested $2,000 in my girlfriend's business, and now she won't answer my calls. My now ex-girlfriend wanted to start a business, and I was extremely proud. I'm big on entrepreneurship and was happy that I was able to influence her. She came to me with a story about how she wanted to start a business with taking photos for children, and I was all in. So much so that when she asked me to invest in her, I did it without a thought. 3 days, 100 phone calls, and 5 pop-ups later, she's nowhere to be found. I ended up reaching out to her friend, and she told me that my ex-girlfriend used the money to bond her man out of jail, and they're currently living with each other. What should I do? If you're watching right now, make sure you go get the merch, go get the merch, go get the merch. You can find it at www.ChoppedByTpodcast.com. Again, that's www.ChoppedByTpodcast.com. Enjoy the show. What's up, what's up? This is the ChoppedByT Podcast, where we get real, raw, authentic conversations. I'm your host, T. And to the right of me, we got Nita. Tell them what's up.
Hey, what's up?
I'm glad to have you back on the show, first and foremost.
I'm glad to be back. You always said that I was going to come back at some point, and here I am.
Yeah, and I see you, like I said, off camera, you're doing a lot of interesting things right now. And for the people who don't remember you coming on the show, or don't remember your first episode, or maybe just new and just now finding the ChoppedByT Podcast, can you tell us what you do?
Yeah. So basically, I shoot everything on my iPhone as a full-time career here in Nashville, Tennessee. Like, no joke. I don't own no camera. I use my phone, and I made it into a full-time career. And with that, I got to shoot 400 plus clients, musicians, influencers, celebrities, from real estate people to musicians to artists, lifestyle, fashion, product, anything you can think of with just an iPhone. Like, it's big. It's a huge game changer in the photography community. And the fact that I live in a high rise now, like, it only took 3 to 4 years to be shooting on my iPhone. I made it into a full-time career with no experience in photography. So I think that's the big takeaway of what I do. And going from photos to music videos. I had some music videos shot on BET and CMT. And no one would know it was shot on an iPhone, but I'm so thankful for the skill, the opportunity. There's still a lot of more learning and growing that I got to do on my end. But at the same time, I'm on to the next part of my life, which is now speaking and doing seminars. And so I love doing stuff like this.
Let me ask you, do you edit it as well on the iPhone, or is it?
I do. I only edit on the iPhone. Now, when it comes to music videos, for space reasons, I'll edit on my iPad, but I don't use a laptop or anything. I just use what is ever convenient for me to quickly get it done.
Yeah, and that's amazing because I had the honor to not see the very beginning, but I seen where you were in a space where you were, when you first came on the show, you were kind of, it was like not part-time, but you were only making the part-time money, and then you were kind of having to have like supplement income to live and everything. And we discussed that, you talked about it, and now here you are, like you said, in the high rise.
Yes.
Based off of just your company or your business.
Yeah, I'm trying to influence people out here, and also educate more people about what I do and what I did, because there's people who are more passionate in photography than I am. I'm just going to be real. I'm naturally good at it. That's why I took advantage of the moment and used what I'm good at to still fulfill my passion, which is inspire people and change the game. I originally came to college, for music business, and my minor in marketing. I wanted to change the game in the entertainment world. But then life took a turn, and then COVID hit, and there was no job in the music industry, and I just started doing my hobby and turned into a career. And that's exactly what happened. But I like the fact that I'm able to still fulfill my dream, which is, change the game in the entertainment world. But at the same time, I'm changing the game in the photography world. So,
You faced like a little pushback from that as well. I seen where it was something that went on with other photographers who had an issue.
Yes. And it's completely understandable at the same time, because a lot of people are just afraid that a new form of technology is going to take away their jobs.
Right.
Or take away their experience or what they worked so hard for, putting time and effort and money into. And so when they see me, they kind of see it as a threat in a way. But, I'm at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not here to remove the cameras out there. No, that's not true, because in some cases the cameras have its purpose, for certain movie sets or for certain, shoots. But I'm just here to share to people, sometimes you don't have to use the most expensive camera to create really good content.
And you know what I think? I think that eventually we won't need cameras in that way. I think the phone will replace the camera.
It's just so convenient, guys.
It's convenient, and it's also like it's gotten better. You know?
Yeah, it gets better every year, and I keep getting the new phone every year, and in my business it grows every year.
Yeah. What have you been able to see? Like any interesting things? You said you shot for BET. That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so basically I did a music video shoot for the group ladies called the Shandellas.
Okay.
Yes, they're talented musician lady singers here in Nashville, Tennessee. They have like their own like cool local base here, full of fans. And they asked me to do their music video for the first time, and again, shot on iPhone. That was the intentions originally for the first time, but they liked it so much they wanted me to keep doing their music videos.
Right.
So I think at this point I did like 4 or 5. Yeah, but it's such a great opportunity, and like I think either 1 or 2 of their music videos were on BET Soul and BET. So yeah.
So they were featured on BET. I you know, and maybe it's just me. Maybe you brought attention to it. You know how sometimes you'll, like if you get a certain type of car that you never seen on the road, but as soon as you get it, you see the car everywhere. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't see, you know, things with Apple promoting the iPhone stuff or being able to shoot the iPhone or take pictures or do video on iPhone. I didn't see that personally myself until you done it. I actually seen a commercial the other day where it was they were promoting specifically you can shoot video on an iPhone, like
right.
Is that something was that already here before, or is that something that you feel like you push forward? Because I do know you had meetings with Apple, right?
Yeah, so basically they reached out to me. When I went to New York, I actually ran into someone who was teaching a seminar at the photography convention, and you know, I showed him my work and all that stuff, and luckily he had a connection to someone that worked for Apple headquarters. And so he put me with someone that worked there, and we've been in contact since. So the way Apple works, they're not a very like, oh, here's an opportunity for you, even though we don't know who you are. They've been burned before in the past, and so I feel like they're playing it very safe with me, and they're just kind of keeping up with me. They basically want me to keep tabs with the one person that they have me in contact with. And so it's my job, anytime anything good happens, a podcast or a seminar or whatever, I'm supposed to reach out to them and let them know. So that way they're like keeping notes to see how serious and driven I am. And so that's the relationship I have right now with them. And who knows, maybe something might happen in 2024, 2025. We'll see.
Yeah. Do you know, did you see the commercial that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So like, I mean, that's something that I personally didn't see at first.
Yeah.
So it seems like, is there fear there? Like that maybe, you know, they may try to burn you themselves because it is a big company.
It is a big company. No, not really. I'm not really in fear of anything. I feel like Apple's really good at, well, anything in any business, you have to be good at like marketing, like reaching out to what's going to get the crowd interested. And so like, again, there's other people I feel like that are very talented in iPhone photography, but the question is, can they actually make it into a career like I did? So I don't know. I feel like they're filling it out to see if I'm, you know, legit or whatever. And at the same time, like they pre-plan everything. Like they don't just post, you know, they don't put commercials out representing certain things right when they think about it. They plan everything out a year or 2 years ahead of time. So they know what it's capable of. But the question is, who's a good good person to represent them, you know? And I think that's what it's all about. So I'm not too worried. So anything that you see recently that comes out, they planned this like a year or 2 ago.
And I mean, of course, they put all of these things in the iPhone for that reason. Like they make it that great for a reason. Oh, okay. Let me ask you something. I think I said this on the first show that we did, but you seem to always have like an upbeat attitude.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? And also, not only where does it come from, but how do you maintain that level of happiness or positivity in your life?
Well, I'll tell you, it's definitely not 24/7.
Yeah.
But no, it's living in the present. That's what makes the upbeat attitude come out. Like, you know how sometimes when you're not ready to go to an event or some sort of show, and then the second you get there, oh, hey, what's up? Because I think what kicks in is me being appreciative. Like, at least I'm here. At least I'm alive. At least I have this great opportunity. At least these people enjoy me as a person or respect my work, you know? And so it has a lot to do with just the environment that I'm in. Like, here, I'm just super excited to be here again and, like, tell you stuff that's been, like, updated since I've been here, you know, because for me, I'm very driven and I'm very like, I'm more motivated when I have a lot of progress to like share, you know.
ever felt like you wanted to quit?
No.
Yeah.
I never wanted to quit. I just don't want to go back to a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to the serving lifestyle and deal with people. Not people like, customers that come in the store, but just the workers that you work with that make things a lot more miserable.
Yeah.
I like where I'm at. I'm going to keep growing. I'm never going to give up. Is there times where I'm sad, depressed, or financially like broke randomly? That is part of the entrepreneurship job. I'll tell you that, because I'm not the only one. Every entrepreneur will tell you that they have their down days, but that's part of it. Yeah. The people who deserve the reward at the end of the day are the people who don't give up.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I mean, that's, as you can see, that's kind of what I do as well.
I know. Yeah. That's why I said, man, even he went through that. Oh, that's even more driven. It's like makes me like slap on the face, like, wake up, Nita. Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah.
No, I want to go back to, when you faced the I don't want to call it backlash. When you faced like the ridicule from people, like people just started attacking you for whatever. How did that start? Can you tell that story? Give context to that?
Yeah. So getting backlash, I'm assuming, for my shooting on my phone. Yeah. So, I mean, I think a lot of people, again, some people don't understand that what the iPhone is capable of doing. And then there's some people who just, again, feel attacked for their own sake of using the camera or the iPhone. And so at this point, it just doesn't faze me anymore. Because like I said, I live in a high rise. Like it brings a lot of comfort in my soul that I was able to do what I did, like I said, in only 3 to 4 years. And I'm just way more secure with myself with where I'm at. And I have so much more like work to do. Like now that I'm interested in doing seminars and speaking and getting paid like $1,500 per show, that just keeps inspiring me, because like I said, I get to speak to more people on this, and I get to create an atmosphere where people can ask questions now. Because back then it was like, you'll be ridiculed. Now I'm trying to change the game where like you won't get ridiculed for it. You can ask decent questions now about how can I be better at this, or how can I make it into a hobby, side hustle, or a career. So I'm glad that I'm able to create a safe space for it.
Yeah, I had to look at the timestamp. I'm going.
You're
to knock out that where you said the number at, where you said the dollar amount. We don't want to put out your price right now because you might can get a little more.
I'm still reasonably priced, like compared to your average photographer. So,
well, I mean for the seminars that you do.
Yeah.
But as far as like what actually happened, I seen it happen on Facebook, right? Where you put it in there, you put in like some of your work. Was that it? Whenever you got the pushback from the photographers. You put in your work on Facebook, and then like you started to get like negative comments about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it was just people who were, again, like they were threatened for their own job and their own, like AI, like certain people that you bring up AI to, like they're gonna feel like, oh, my job's gonna be replaced by this and that, and they're not wrong to feel that kind of way, but at the same time, life is all about evolving. Yeah, you have to evolve with times, and changes are always going to happen. It's just up to you if you're going to choose that personal growth or not.
Yeah. And I think, because I followed the story as it happened, as things were happening. I know you posted it on Instagram as well, like how everything was happening. But you did have a lot of, it was like a silver lining in the whole thing, because you had more like positive people in the comments saying like, you're doing good, you're doing great. Yeah. Was that a good thing as well?
Yeah, it's just so good to have a lot of people so supportive of me, and they know what I've done. Like they follow me for years, watching me go from 0 to where I'm at now. And it feels good to have people understand, most importantly. And then sometimes they speak up for me where I don't even have to do it anymore. Before I used to have to explain a whole sheet explaining like what I do and how it's done. But now I feel like I don't really have to do it anymore, because the world is starting to see it for themselves.
Yeah. Now that's what I was kind of like trying to allude to, because it's if you think about it, these negative things happen, these things where people are negative for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And from it, not only, I think it made your platform actually bigger, because it brought awareness to your situation, and you were able to make connections, I'm sure, no?
Yeah, I was able to make connections with people because when people see certain drama or controversy, sometimes drama is a good thing because people tune in more and they feast up, and then they start to see like the different sides to it. Because at the end of the day, the person who was being ugly towards me, they showed their character.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I never was ugly to them. Like I was like, hey, I understand where you're coming from, da 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 da. But it was, again, like if you throw out hate out there, hate's gonna come right back to you. And so that's what I always have to remind myself with any situation. So
I just want to give them a little hate though, just a little bit.
Okay, for that, no, because I'm not fazed by it. But like relationships, that's another story.
Yeah.
I'm working on that.
Yeah. No, I speaking of that, I told you we read from the show. I meant to read that. I did not read that, but I'm about to read it now. Okay. It says, like I told you, we get stories from people.
Yeah.
I get stories from people.
Yeah.
I tell them, share your story, put it out there, and we'll read it on the show. And it's usually anonymous though. But this specific story, they said, I invested $2,000 in my girlfriend's business, and now she won't answer my calls. My now ex-girlfriend wanted to start a business, and I was extremely proud. I'm big on entrepreneurship and was happy that I was able to influence her. She came to me with a story about how she wanted to start a business and taking photos for children, and I was all in. So much so that when she asked me to invest in her, I did it without a thought. 3 days, 100 phone calls, and 5 pop-ups later, she's nowhere to be found. I ended up reaching out to her friend, and she told me that my ex-girlfriend used the money to bond her man out of jail, and they're currently living with each other. What should I do? So that was a story.
I mean, first of all, he didn't really know this person like that.
He couldn't have, right?
And he made the big jump on trusting this person without any proof of how or a reason why he could trust this person. Mm-hmm. So it's on his end that he put himself in a situation where, this person took advantage of him.
Yeah, but don't you, I think it's, is you know how it is. Like when you first got into iPhone photography, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're so excited about oh my God, I love it, and you want to tell everybody, you want to share that. I think that was the same thing with his entrepreneurship, his love for entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm. But the business is different from the person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he got overexcited.
He mixed personal and business together.
Jumped the gun.
Yeah.
And now I think what he should do now is just cut his losses. Because, what do you do at this point? Yeah.
And learn from it. Mm-hmm. But don't hate it. You had to learn some way, somehow.
Absolutely. No, I do notice that you're doing the seminars now. Can you tell us what that's about?
Yeah, so my seminars are separate from speaking. Mm-hmm. Two different things. Seminars that I create on my own in my time, and it's not $1,000. But the conferences, that's when a conference, I feel like people need to know this. Conferences get desperate when they need some good information from someone that is not a common thing, and they're desperate and they need someone like you to come in there, speak in front of a bunch of people, so that way they get their $1,400 worth when they show up to this event to get motivated or whatever they're there for.
Right.
And so I'm at the rates chart where I, get $1,500 if I were to speak at conferences. And so that's what I'm currently working on is, reaching out to a bunch of conferences and just letting them know who I am, what I do. Mm-hmm. Sure enough, someone's going to be like, hey, yeah, we'll want you. And the more you keep doing those, the more you can raise your rates. Mm-hmm. So
how do you get involved in that? You just reach out to someone?
You reach out, yeah. Because sometimes if you build a bigger platform for yourself and you have a huge platform, people will normally come to you and ask based off of who you are, what you do, and your experience in speaking if you're interested. But like I said, I do my own seminars. I did my first seminar and a lot of people showed up and it was so great that a lot of people found me motivational and inspiring. Mm-hmm. That was my test to see, can I do this? Yeah. And I can. And I feel very comfortable to speak in front of anybody about things. I obviously don't know everything, but I know enough to explain how I got from point A to B. Yeah. Yeah. And so at the end of the day, I just like to inspire people to use the tool that they already have. And, what better person to ask than someone who had no experience in photography, but made it to a career, Yeah. So, but I'm happy to continue to do more seminars. That is not the same price as being paid to speak at a conference, but I'm also very excited to speak at more conferences and get paid good money.
Yeah. How many conferences have you had so far?
So far, I have not done one yet, but I will be doing
Got
some.
you.
Yes, seminars. I've had one seminar so far, but I have spoke. I lied. I had like 2 or 3, but my big one was recently, about a week ago, where I got to speak and create my own little feng shui kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you so you organized that and got that together on your own?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy,
all,
right?
all by myself. I mean, I definitely had some like good advice from people who were willing to chip in on what helped them for their events. And I thought that was nice that people like try to help me out in that way and give me like some good advice. Like don't spend a lot of money on Facebook advertisements and stuff. So it was helpful on that end, but everything else was, pretty much done myself, reaching out to really cool people and creating opportunities. And that's why I said I understand where you're coming from as far as doing things by yourself, because sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a good turnout?
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of people gave me a lot of good feedback and said like what they thought and what they got out of it. And it's the first one.
Right.
You know, the first one's always going to be, but
No?
no, they actually enjoyed it though. They said it was really good. But in my brain, I'm like, okay, well, I know that the 100th one will always be the best.
Right. No, I faced that, doing the live shows. Whenever we were doing live shows, I did like 3 of them. For the most part, I still, because I'm good with events and everything like that. I did that in college, so I was able to kind of create or curate a good space.
Right.
So I already had that experience, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
You said you were petty in relationships. What's that about?
Petty. I was never petty.
I thought that's what you said. Bag or something. Maybe it's just a name.
No, I said I'm just working on trying to not be so hateful.
Yeah.
Because like it's really hard to not feel any hate towards someone that like ripped your heart apart. And like you expect so much from someone, and you would never think that they would do something to harm you.
Right.
And then they do, and it's like what do you feel inside? Upset, abandoned, sad, hate. But just like what I said earlier, I have to take my own advice. Like, don't even like put all the energy of hate towards, that person. Like at the end of the day, this person still has a lot of life to live and experience. And sometimes you might have a little bit more experience, so you already know like what's up. And from here on out, I know that there's no point in putting a lot of hate and energy towards that. Just wish them the best.
Yeah, love is tricky like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, love can really. That's every time I've ever felt like hate, it was because of love. You know what I mean? It was because I felt love at first. If it's something like I can't just I see this thing that doesn't bother, or just I'll give you an example, like someone that I just met, it's a cool person, all right, whatever.
Right.
There's no real love there. It's like they're all right, I like them, whatever the case may be. If things go sour, it's good. But whenever it's love involved, and I guess it's because of the time. Usually you love someone after spending so much time with them.
Yeah.
And you feel like you wasted that time. So I guess the hate can manifest from that as well.
But then that's where, okay, if you take the waste out, you won't feel the hate. So go back to the waste part. You didn't waste any time. That time that was spent with that person, that was a learning and growing moment on both ends. Like you learn how you are around that person. And you also learn what you're not.
Right.
And at the same time, that whole time was built to make you into the person that you are today. If it wasn't for that relationship, you wouldn't be who you are today.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you're not in a relationship right now.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I am not. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I'm down for dating and being in a relationship. I want to get married one day just to know what that's like and experience that. But right now I'm just at a point where I'm more focused on my career, but also practicing to be more secure with myself. Like for example, I like to do things that make me feel secure. Right now, moving into a high rise was my biggest I'm definitely secure. I'm only living by myself. Like that's just me. I'm the one that's paying my rent.
In Nashville, right?
Yeah, downtown.
Crazy.
And that's big secure right there. Yeah. But stuff I'm eventually gonna get MMA training. I'm gonna get some what's it called? I'm gonna do some MMA stuff to like help build up my stamina and also teach me how to fall down so I can mentally, physically get back up stronger.
Yeah.
And then going to the gun range to practice how to shoot a gun. So these things make me feel secure. Like while I'm single at the moment, I'm going to take advantage of the moment of just like doing things like if a guy wasn't here, what could I do about it?
I got you.
Yeah, and it makes me feel good. And so just in case if I do run into a situation where I'm dating someone and then they just pull the rug underneath my feet out of nowhere, you know, I'll be okay. I'll be like, all right, it's all good. You know, it didn't work out. Okay. But I got me.
Yeah, and you think like the mixed martial arts and the
yes,
like, create that for you.
Yeah, like it seems fun to do and it's also good to learn, but it's also building you up as a strong person. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. It makes you realize that because I did a little boxing for a while, it makes you realize that there's always somebody out there that's better. But it also does, it adds like a different element to how you carry yourself. Yeah. More upright.
And I've never shot a gun before. So like
never?
No.
I got you.
So like I wanna know what that's like learn like take training, take classes, and then learn a new language. Like why not? Like do stuff that makes you secure. Because I'm starting to travel now. Yeah. So if I run into someone that I don't know their language, like that's on me. Right. Let me make myself feel more secure and like actually try to learn some basics. Absolutely. Why not?
Absolutely. But yeah, no. I think what you're doing is amazing though. I think that where you come from, because you got to think, well, you lived in Ohio originally, right? Yeah. Okay. Was it the city or was it
suburban area?
Okay. Like, all right. So coming from that place, moving here by yourself, and now look what you're doing. Is there ever a moment where you're like, you sit back and be like, I can't believe I'm doing this right now?
Yes. Again, with the iPhone though, like out of everything, 10 years ago, I would have been like, right. Yeah, right. I mean, 10 years ago, Uber Eats and DoorDash didn't exist either. Right. You know? Right. That's so, true. I mean, I'm just appreciating the moment and also still willing to grow. I'm not comfortable where I'm just going to sit and chill. Like, no, there's still more room to grow. And, you know, I'm excited for what's to come from here.
No, I like that. Is there a place? What's next for you before we get into that? Yeah. What's next for you?
No, you're good. As far as business?
As far as the business.
Yeah, just basically doing more conferences and seminars. Because, again, I personally feel like everyone should at least look into that. Like, the skill that you might have that not a lot of people have. Like, for example, I was thinking about the other day, there's a conference for everything. Knives, shoes, disabilities. Like, there's everything. Conference for everything and everywhere every day. Yeah. And so just imagine like as me being an iPhone photographer, my clientele is for people who need high quality content on their social media that they can possibly do for themselves. And so think about it. Like, do you think historians really focus on taking good photos on their phone? No, but if they need to enhance their social media page, they're going to need my knowledge to like know that. But that's what I'm saying. Like with any skill set, that's not the norm. Right. It's so good to like be able to speak in front of people and like share your knowledge because you never know who you're going to inspire in the room, who you're going to change their lives for you saying what you do. I think a lot of people who do a lot of out of the box things definitely need to be pushed out there to be able to make income in that way. Like the rates for it is like $1,500 like the lowest or $1,000 as the lowest, and then it just goes up from based off how many times you've spoken at different conferences. Okay. It's crazy. It's so cool at the same time. Yes.
Because you never know how you can, like you said, relate. I didn't even think of that. You know,
that's why I'm sharing this for everybody, especially the Black community, because we don't know nothing.
Yeah, we don't do it. It sucks. Yes, we do. We know it. We're the Black community, so we know it.
And that's why I'm playing it.
Yeah. But look, thank you for coming on the show. I know you had a busy day. I know you had a lot to do.
Happy to be here.
I am happy to have you, and I also want you to come back again. I know you'll be back at some point, and the next time you're back, you probably will have 10x the followers. Clientele will be even crazier. You'll probably have to hire people by then.
Right. That's the goal next. It's getting busy.
Just manifesting. I think we did that at the end of the last show.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Listen, this is the ChoppedByT podcast where we give real, raw, authentic conversations. Until next time.